How's it going, everybody? It's another episode of Light Sports Breakdown. Talked about the Eastern Conference Finals in the last video. Now we're talking about the Western Conference Finals, and these matchups were surprising. The semifinals, a lot of upsets, a lot of just mind-boggling things happened, but we have our matchup. It's between the number 2 seed Phoenix Suns versus the number 4 seed Los Angeles Clippers. Had to double check with that. But before we get into that matchup, let's talk about the previous series. Phoenix Suns semifinals versus the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic just got announced that he was the MVP during that series. Regardless, Suns made quick work of him in 4 games. CP3, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker just lights out. Looked unstoppable, proving that they're the second seed, and that they're one of the best Western Conference teams remaining. And Devin Booker confirmed Kobe Bryant passed him the torch. He's just been showing that Mamba mentality, lights out from three-point range, from the mid-range, just fadeaways, it's just spectacular what Devin Booker is doing this season. And the last time the Suns were in the Western Conference Finals was 2010, and ironically, they lost to, guess who? Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers, so oh man, it's just so good that the Suns are doing this right now, that they are able to make it back to the Western Conference Finals, and they look like a team that could potentially make it to the finals, and CP3 can finally capture that one ring that's been evading him for years. He's proven that he can make the teams better, CP3 effect, but he has yet to prove that he can capture that title, which is separating him being the true best point guard, point god, Mr. Clutch, only person besides Carmelo Anthony part of the banana boat crew, which is D-Wade, Chris Bosh, LeBron James, CP3, Carmelo Anthony, all have been buds since they were drafted in the league. CP3 finally capturing that first one would mean so much, and I really, really hope that he gets the opportunity to. Unfortunately, after winning the series in 4 games against the Suns, CP3 contracted COVID, was tested positive, and he's confirmed that he's going to miss at least the first 2 games of the series. Big blow to the Suns. They still have DeAndre Ayton and they have Devin Booker, so I think they have enough talent to keep the ship afloat while CP3 is out. But man, it's just so unfortunate. This is his first Western Conference Finals. He hasn't made it out of the second round for a while. And this is a really good opportunity for them to make it to the finals. But they have to get through the number 4 seed Los Angeles Clippers. And they have their own problems to deal with. Last series, they faced the number 1 seed Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. They basically smacked them in the mouth the first 2 games. And then the Clippers responded after that and finished the series off in 6 games. But the cost was huge. It was very, very unfortunate. But worse than what the Suns have to deal with CP3 being out due to COVID. Kawhi Leonard suffered a knee injury. Clippers fear it's an ACL injury. It's not confirmed how long he's going to be out, but it does not look like he's going to be in this series at all. Don't know what's going to happen if they make it to the finals. But Game 6, Paul George was the man, going back to his days in Indiana. His talent was never in question, but it was just if he could lead a team to the finals and win. And he was able to win that game against a very, very good Utah Jazz. The Jazz are going to be a problem for a while. Donovan Mitchell showed out and proved that he is a star, and he's going to be in Utah for a long time, causing problems for the other teams. But Paul George showed out. Clippers put the clamps on defense with their roster. Patrick Beverley was just mean. And now they're in the Western Conference Finals for the first time in like 76 years. So kudos to the Clippers, but they're going to be without Kawhi Leonard. So makes the task way more difficult than it has to be, because if Paul George has a couple of off nights, they have a good enough roster where they can make up for some of the lack of production. But without his co-pilot, Kawhi Leonard, and that defensive assignment against a really good a really good Suns team, it just seems like a tall task to fill for Paul George. But these playoffs have been interesting, so anything can honestly happen this series. With that all in mind, I was very torn on my decision. Kawhi Leonard's injury was very huge on my decision, but just the way that the Clippers play, Tyronn Lue has been a whiz in these playoffs and has just made the right changes and has the right personnel for the job. So with that all in mind, my prediction is still 4-2, Phoenix Suns advance to the NBA Finals, and it's going to be too tough for Paul George to handle. They're going to at least be able to take 2, but without Kawhi Leonard, they won't be able to force a decisive Game 7 to hope to make it to the Finals. So that was my pick for the Western Conference Finals. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Next video will be the NBA Finals, so stick around. A champion will be crowned, and it will be either the first time for the franchise or first time in a long time for a franchise.